She says, what's the ruling on studying medicine and working in hospitals where there is mixing for a female? This differs from one country to the other. So if you are in a country where Islam is dominating, there are Muslims around you, and people abide by the hijab, and medicine colleges would be considered a bit liberal, I would say that you must avoid this, because the culture does not accept such form of mixing, and this would have dire consequences on the society itself. We see this in conservative societies. Once they open the door of mixing a little bit, all hell breaks loose. And we can see this where now you have mixing in offices, in banks, in hospitals, everywhere, and people now do not even have any feeling of disgust of what's taking place. They don't even think that this is haram. People, in some cases, defend this and say this is normal. This is... Do you expect Allah, the Almighty, to decree something, to rule something, and you come at the end of the day opposing it, breaking Allah's rules and commands, and expecting that your country, your community would remain safe and sound and prosperous and money coming to you from all directions and nothing to worry about? You're delusional. Allah Azza wa Jal does not change people until they change themselves. And if we change ourselves to the worse, Allah would uplift His favors and blessings. But this doesn't happen overnight. It may take 20 years, 40 years, Allah knows how long. But then when the wrath of Allah falls upon the transgressors and the wrongdoers, it is painful. Therefore, again, Nawras, if you live in conservative countries, I would advise you not to do so. If you live in a kafir country, for example, and there is a necessity, and you are a Muslimah, wearing the hijab properly, staying away from mixing with men or teachers, always sitting isolated from them, not having any kind of communication, not even a smile or greeting, good morning, good evening, how are, nothing. You always stay as far as possible, abiding by hijab, surrounding yourself with other females. I hope that if this is the case, that this would be permissible, inshallah. But you have to take real good care, because shaitan is lurking in the dark. He's waiting for the right moment to strike. And even if you were not affected, you may not notice that you may have a negative impact and effect on others. So many times people come and tell me, Sheikh, I'm strong in Iman. I know that I cannot be tempted by haram, even if I mix with the opposite gender. My heart is as strong as a rock. I say, Akhi, let's assume that this is true, though it isn't. Shaitan is just waiting for the right moment. You did not click yet, because all those that have passed in front of you were not what you were waiting for. But shaitan is preparing you. Let's assume that you do not have any problems with mixing and you're not affected. How can you guarantee that the other side will not be affected by you? How can you guarantee that when you crack a joke or when you are coming to a mixed meeting, that women are not affected by you? A woman who has a problem with her husband, who had a fight with who's a divorce, who's a widow, and shaitan comes and says, this is your knight in shining armor. Although you have no feelings for her, but can you stop others from being affected by you? Therefore, Islam is the perfect religion, where it made this segregation. Women to be with women, men to be with men, and then we would not have any problems or any fitna spreading in the Muslim community.